They may be aimed at children, but that doesn't mean they can't get real. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 kids show episodes that dealt with serious issues.
What's that funny smell? I hate to suggest this, but my guess would be marijuana. An unlawful substance used to experience artificial highs.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're taking a look at episodes of kids shows that ventured hard into normally adult territory and heavy topics. Number 10, Mother's Day, Rugrats. Chucky Finster always stood out as the only Rugrat with a single parent. This Emmy-nominated episode addressed the absence of Chucky's mother and executed it in a subtle, honest way. Chucky only has vague memories of his mom, but still feels a strong connection with her.
I wish I could remember stuff like that. Don't you remember ever having a mom? Nope. Sometimes I dream about having a mom, though.
He tries filling the void by seeking out other maternal figures, but is ultimately drawn to a photo of the woman from his dreams.
What's the matter, Chucky? I don't know. I thought it was a really pretty picture. I guess my dad doesn't like it, Tommy.
Realizing that his son is old enough, Chaz begins to tell Chucky about his late mom. Although she passed away from a terminal illness, Chucky takes solace in knowing she'll always be with him in spirit.
See, guys? I do have a mom. She's right here in the flowers, and in the clouds, and in the grass, too.
Number 9, Alone at Sea, Steven Universe. Behind its colorful, bubbly exterior, Steven Universe has gotten some pretty mature messages across to its audience. One of the most unsettling episodes finds Steven trying to comfort Lapis Lazuli shortly after she escapes Jasper's clutches.
I know you spent a really long time fused with Jasper at the bottom of the ocean, but you're not Malachite anymore, and water is a part of who you are. You can't let one bad experience take that away from you.
Although their relationship was a recipe for disaster, Lapis reveals that she actually misses Jasper and feels that they belong together.
You don't have to be with Jasper.
That's not it. I miss her.
What?
We were fused for so long.
When Jasper tracks Lapis down and asks her to fuse into Malachite, she's tempted to repeat a toxic cycle, but rejects it with Steven's support.
No!
What?
What we had wasn't healthy. I never want to feel like I felt with you. Never again. So just go.
Lapis! She said no!
Through Lapis, the writers delivered a down-to-earth look at the nature of abusive relationships, as well as the effects of post-traumatic stress disorder. Number 8, True Colors, That's So Raven. This episode of That's So Raven explored Black History Month, but also delved into racial prejudices that still very much exist in 21st century America.
I always knew about racism, but I never knew how much it could hurt.
Yeah, Ray, that's intense.
Raven applies for a job for which she is clearly the most qualified, only to see the Caucasian Chelsea land the position instead. Through a vision, Raven learns that the manager made her decision solely based on skin color.
There's gotta be some reason why you didn't get that job.
The truth is, I don't hire black people.
Raven additionally finds that she's far from the first person of color who has faced job discrimination. Above all else, she learns that one person can make a huge difference in the fight for inclusion.
As a result of this investigation, the manager, Chloe Hunter, has been fired, and the company has issued a public apology.
See, you guys can make a difference.
Number 7, Mel versus the Future. Gordimer Gibbons' life on Normal Street. Overcome with denial, Mel refuses to cry over the sudden loss of her mother, and instead dedicates all of her energy towards building a time machine.
I'm lost.
It's hard to explain. Anyway, it's just a first step. To what? A time machine. I'm gonna fix this.
Mel eventually crosses paths with her future self, who reveals that even after mastering time travel, she was still unable to save their mother. Regardless, Mel is willing to spend the rest of her life trying to undo this unspeakable tragedy.
I don't know who you are, but if you were really me, you'd know that even if it took the rest of my life, saving Mom would not be a waste of time.
It isn't until Mel finally confides in her family and friends that she accepts her mother's passing. Even in the fantastical world of Normal Street, there are some harsh realities we can never escape.
She can't be gone.
I know.
She can't be gone.
Number 6, Helga on the Couch. Hey Arnold. Why exactly is Helga such a bully? Well, this episode reveals her father is likely a narcissist, her mother is probably an alcoholic, and she's always lived in her overachieving sister's shadow.
I don't want you blabbing to some school shrink. We Patakis don't talk about things. We sweep them under the rug.
After punching a student, Helga is forced to meet with a child psychiatrist. Though reluctant, Helga soon places her trust in Dr. Bliss. We know Helga is troubled, but this episode really delved into her insecurities and emotional scars.
I already told you that I've got a lame mom, a blowhard dad, and a perfect sister, so they make me mad. Big deal.
It additionally showed us why she's so afraid to share her true feelings for Arnold. Dr. Bliss ultimately teaches Helga that she isn't alone, a message neglected children everywhere can take to heart. Number 5, A Formula for Hate, Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Taking a break from protecting the environment, Captain Planet tackled the HIV/AIDS crisis.
Don't touch him, you could be next. AIDS? Todd Andrews?
We meet Todd Andrews, a young HIV-positive athlete voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. As rumors about the disease spread, Todd and his mother, voiced by Elizabeth Taylor, become outcasts in the community.
You were my pride and joy, and you let me down.
No.
The episode does, admittedly, simplify the hardships HIV/AIDS patients face, but it was still incredibly risky for a children's animated series to take on this difficult subject matter, especially in the 90s. What the showrunners deliver is a well-meaning life lesson that both educates on AIDS and encourages acceptance.
Get the facts. If Todd had any other disease, you'd be cheering him on. Right now, Todd needs your support. The power is yours!
Number 4, America's Kids Respond, Zoom.
And a lot of times countries fight because they think God is on their side. And one big problem is what happens when two countries both think that God is on their side. It's like a religion war.
The terrorist attack on September 11, 2001 has inspired many stories throughout the years, and Zoom was one of the first programs to address the tragedy. America's Kids Respond aired on PBS a mere 10 days after the World Trade Center collapsed. At a time when America was overwrought with grief, this special episode exemplified the importance of community and what we can all do to help. A year later, Zoom aired a follow-up special entitled America's Kids Remember.
Even after a year, I still feel sad about what happened on those days.
I think 9/11 kind of brought me into reality a little bit more.
I don't know, I guess I'm just more aware of things going on in the world now.
Reflecting on the aftermath of 9/11, the Zoomers showed us that the country may still be hurting, but it was also healing.
We will never break. We will stand together through the dust of September. People hurt, hearts broken, but we survive.
Number 3, The Great McGrady, Arthur. Mrs. McGrady has been appearing on this series since season 1, so it came as a massive blow to viewers when she was diagnosed with cancer.
It's a side effect of the medicine, but her hair will grow back. See, the weeds keep popping up in Mrs. McGrady's garden, but the medicine's getting rid of them, right?
Something like that.
The way Arthur and his friends react to this news feels surprisingly relatable and authentic. Arthur and DW try to comfort McGrady. Muffy doesn't entirely understand what she's going through, and Francine is too afraid to visit her in person.
Well, she's sick now. You know, some people don't get better. My grandfather died from cancer.
Oh, you're being so negative.
Fortunately, Francine works up the courage following a talk with Lance Armstrong.
I just wish I could do something.
Being a good friend is doing something.
This episode was co-written by Leah Ryan, who passed away from cancer before its airing. In her honor, McGrady was later gifted the first name Leah. Number 2, Mr. Rogers talks to children and adults about violence. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Given the wholesome nature of his show, it's hard to imagine Fred Rogers talking about shootings. A year after John Lennon was assassinated, however, Rogers dedicated an episode to violence.
There are people in the world who are so sick or so angry that they sometimes hurt other people, and they're usually the ones who end up in the news.
With such a serious subject at its core, the special aired in the evening, and Rogers informed his viewers up front that youngsters shouldn't watch without a loving adult.
So please get a grown-up that you love to watch this program with you, because we're going to talk about some sad and scary things.
As sad and scary as matters get, Rogers still offers a message of hope and peace. Unseen for nearly 35 years, the Fred Rogers Company released it to web in 2015, giving it a wider audience at a time when its topic remained a hot-button issue.
You'll always find somebody who's trying to help.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
See, he was in the kids' chat room. But he wasn't a kid.
Cyrus, do you like Andy? You like Jonah.
I need to go on a diet now. I really should lose some weight too. I'm in. If fat cells think they're getting a free ride on BB Bluff, they are sadly mistaken.
Number 1, episode 1839, also known as Farewell Mr. Hooper, Sesame Street. Since its debut in 1969, this series has taught kids everything from mathematics to nutrition. On occasion, Sesame Street has even veered into more serious territory, introducing characters with autism and divorced parents. In 1982, actor Will Lee, who played Mr. Hooper, died. Rather than recasting or avoiding the issue, the creators decided to use this opportunity to educate viewers on death.
Big Bird, don't you remember we told you? Mr. Hooper died. He's dead.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Well, I'll give it to him when he comes back.
Big Bird, Mr. Hooper's not coming back.
The confusion and sadness Big Bird endures sincerely captures how many children cope with loss. This episode not only offers a loving tribute to Mr. Hooper, but also set the standard for all the other shows in this list.
We can all be very happy that we had a chance to be with him and to know him and to love him a lot when he was here.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.